what's happening on your page, how people are interacting. They'll show you like video recordings of how people engage with their page, and you can use it to modify elements because you can see where users are getting stuck as well, which gives you insights on what to test and change and tweak. And don't worry about coding. Most of those tools all have wysiwygs, so you can just adjust stuff without really having any coding knowledge. Hack number
Excellent.
7.
Yep. So going back to conversion metrics, so how does it all work, Brooke? I think there's some stuff on the advertising side that can really help to increase conversions, maybe beyond just multivariate testing.
Yeah, what really happens is there are multiple touch points in every customer's journey to purchase. And those touch points aren't all advertising or searches either. They could include seeing competitor ads or be influenced by external factors like the weather. So the clear one path to purchase isn't really there. A typical customer purchase journey includes multiple touch points.
Yeah, and this is why we always talk about omni-channel marketing, whether it's push notifications, text alerts, whether it's blogging, social media, whether it's paid advertising, television. It's multiple touch points, and multiple touch points really does help improve conversions. In marketing, it's called the rule of 7. When someone sees or interacts with your brand 7 times, they're much more likely to engage and become a customer. So just try to touch people in multiple areas.
And what really happens is you end up having a mixture of different components that you can adjust and address. You can update your ads. You can improve your landing pages. The offer is a huge component of getting people to purchase. Make sure to leverage your data for upsell opportunities and tap into your email list. All of these factors will help improve your campaign purchases.
Awesome. And Neil, with this right here, is this is going to be an asset that we can share with you guys. But Neil has created a very simple conversion worksheet that people can work off of, where it has a couple of examples for you on different types of things to test. So you'll see you have a control column. Those are the things that you're going to keep the same and make sure that that's your base data. Then you have some sort of version A of that page, version B of that page. What are going to be the key performing indicators that you're tracking to make sure that your tests are pacing in the direction that you want to see them pace? So this conversion worksheet can help you guys organize some of your multivariate testing or conversion rate opportunities.
Yeah, and if you guys, we should have had a link here, but if you guys want it, just email Saulo, SAULO, at neilpatel.com, and he'll send it to you. Just ask for the conversion worksheet.
Awesome. And for the last part of this 7th hack, we want to talk a little bit about just downsells, cross-sells, upsells. These are all things that if you leverage them correctly with your current audience or people who've purchased from you in the past, it can really help drive up the amount of money that you're making from the e-commerce space. Sometimes it can have an impact as much as 10 times the amount of revenue that you're bringing in. So again, making sure that you're not only initially selling something to somebody, but leveraging some of those omni-channel tactics that Neil was just mentioning and Brooke was mentioning, like send them push notifications after they've purchased on similar products that other people have bought to the one that the customer just purchased. Or go ahead and send them emails or email nurtures to show them, hey, here are more deals coming out in the near future that you may want to take advantage of. So e-commerce sales can be very dependent on how much effort you put into them to really keep attracting customers back to your brand.
Yeah, and just look at Amazon. They make majority of their revenue from repeat purchases, right? Their repeat purchase rate's really high. And that's how people get to like 10 times. I know that number sounds crazy, but it really isn't. And the trick with upsells and downsells is speed and automation. Any upsell that offers results faster or with less work tends to have high up rates. And even though if you have an upsell or multiple upsells with speed and automation, you won't get 10x right there or anywhere close to that. But what you'll find is because a customer is spending quite a bit much more, even if it's 20, 30% more, that a little bit is typically enough of a difference where you can drastically scale up your paid ads where you can then really boost the number of sales that you're generating. And then with repeat purchases, you know, your numbers can really go off the chart. So I also want to go over a bonus e-commerce hack for you guys. Think about behavior and predictive targeting. And, you know, Brooke mentioned a little bit about this, but there's so many different aspects that you can do to generate more sales from your audience. So if someone goes to your checkout page and they don't buy, and let's say you're selling mattresses, you can do remarketing videos on mattresses. And your messaging could be even as crazy as like, wouldn't you be sleeping so much better if you had this mattress? Or like, if you know that, because you can do day partying online, if you know it's late at night in someone's time zone, it's just like struggling to sleep, you should have bought our mattress. But wait, it's not too late. Click here to purchase it, right? So that's a lot of psychological and behavioral based targeting. And you can also do interesting things where if someone almost completed the checkout and they didn't, you have their phone number, you can text them. You can use coupons, you can use exit pop-ups. You can use a lot of behavioral based stuff to really boost your sales, but get creative. Kind of like the approach I just mentioned. If it's late at night, you're selling mattresses, and it's just like wishing you can sleep right now, you should have purchased our mattress. It's not too late though. Click here to buy it. And we also have some case studies from you. One of them is from Somatics. They're a company that sells music-related products for some of its software. Sometimes it's physical goods as well. And they had a challenge. They're a startup with a Gen Z audience in the music production space, with product marketing being the biggest challenge. And the solution that we ended up coming up was a sequence of product marketing campaigns for the client, and we focus on releasing new products consistently. And as we release these new products, we created funnels, and these funnels had everything from a webinar to, you know, landing pages, to selling the product, to upselling, to getting them to buy more future products. And that's what really helped their revenue grow. And they went from generating very little money to over $4.5 million just from 8 product launches. And then the business kept growing from there, and then started leveraging social media and Instagram to generate more sales. And their subscriber base eventually grew through 1.1 million users. And they're quite a bit larger than that $4.5 million number now.
Yep. The next one we wanted to cover with you guys was Water Drop. This is one that we handled down here at MPXL at the small to medium business level. Water Drop is an e-commerce website that sells a new version of water filters. They source their materials from local areas. They have a whole ethical approach to how they create their water filters. They came to us over a year ago with very minimal traffic because they had just launched their website. And so we helped them structure an omni-channel approach, but organic was the one that helped them drive the most amount of traffic over the long term. And these are going to be results that they're going to continue to see on a compounding effect month over month and year over year for years to come, in all honesty. So we help them structure their keyword approach. We help them do a lot of internal linking and refreshing of content. And we went through and built out new content on some of their pages that were fairly thin. We've done some link building for them. We've done a lot of on-site optimizations and technical optimizations to make the website quicker. And through all those different efforts, you can see that when they came to us, they had like somewhere just over like 100 visitors a month. And now they're averaging well into the thousands of visitors per month. So that 2,000% increase has had a dramatic effect on their bottom line. And they're an extremely happy customer due to that amount of work. Another one that we have here is Bavarian Clockwork. So this is a company that is focusing on e-commerce sales in the United States, but they have a 300+ year formula of how to build cuckoo clocks. So these are some very niche, very specific type of products. It takes a certain type of audience to purchase these products. But when they came to us, they had an issue where they were plateauing. They were struggling to generate the amount of revenue that they wanted. They were struggling to increase the amount of traffic and really impact their conversion rates. And so, again, we brought an omni-channel approach to their campaign. We did paid media, we did SEO, we did email marketing, we did some conversion rate optimization for them. And through all those different efforts, they saw some dramatic increases in the bottom dollar. They literally went from the previous year of making, I think, just around $400,000 to then jumping up to like over 2.4 or $1.4 million in revenue. So doing these types of approaches, implementing all the stuff we talked about today, focusing on conversions, focusing on optimizing your site speed, your user experience, the text on your pages, the way you're structuring your product descriptions, all can have a dramatic impact on your bottom dollar at the end of the day.
The big mistake that people make with marketing is they do all these resolutions. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to, work on our KPIs and create different ads and all this kind of stuff. But it's all about execution. You need to take the tactics that we broke down today and execute. And if you don't have the time to do it and you need help, we're always here. You can always check us out at NP Digital, where we help companies grow. Or you can just email us at consulting@neilpatel.com. Or even better, just take out your phone and turn on your camera. You can actually point it over that QR code and it'll take you to one of our pages. And if you're interested in working with us, just fill out the details on that page and then go from there. And, we really do love helping companies grow, and we're good at it. And we wouldn't be expanding so fast if we weren't providing our clients with results. But let's get into some Q&A.
Awesome. So one of the first questions that we've seen come up, Neil, and we can all cover this one, but people are asking, what is the ideal client that we work with both at the NPA level and the NPD level? Brooke, did you want to start with the NPD level?
Yeah, for NPD, Neil Patel Digital, we work with a lot of the enterprise level clients. So if it's someone that has international or even US presence, we work with all of those types of clients. NPA is a little bit of the smaller, medium-sized businesses that I believe, Matt, your team works with.
Yeah, absolutely. So at NPXL, we do tend to focus on businesses that are generating anywhere north of like $500,000 a year in annual revenue. And we do tend to cap out somewhere around the 10 to 15, maybe even $20 million a year revenue mark, but that's kind of like our sweet spot right there for small businesses. And we don't really tend to hone in on a specific niche. So we take on e-commerce customers, we take on lead generation customers, we take on software as a service, local. We do tend to operate in a lot of different verticals. Another question that came through was, what are some of the advantages of using an agency instead of running ads by yourself?
Well, think of it this way, right? So we see so much data. If you run it yourself, you can do well. And we know a lot of people, a lot of my friends do it as well. And what you'll end up finding out is you can also run a lot of experiments, make some mistakes. And even when you hire an agency, they can make mistakes as well, just being quite candid. But what you'll find is because they've done it so many times, and they work with so many different clients across many different industries, they typically know what works at a much quicker pace, and then they just use that data to implement it. So you see the results quite quicker. And it's the law of numbers. When you see a lot of data across a lot of different sites, you have a better aspect of what's going to work and what's going to move the needle versus what's not.
Yeah, to add to that, I think for small to medium businesses, a lot of the companies that we work for, we're working directly with the owner of that business. And what we want to do is we want to provide that owner with the flexibility now to spend their time on growing their business, focusing on their product, increasing relationships with different manufacturers or different things. We don't want you as an owner having to spend time running your own advertising campaign, because that's going to be time that's being taken away from you running your business. So leveraging an agency can be a trade-off in that sense, where we're now saving you time and you're leveraging experts in your campaigns.
What's the next question?
This one's more for you, Neil. So someone asked, how can I find some new and relevant keywords for my e-commerce brand?
Sure. So what I like doing is, and we have this feature for free in Ubersuggest. You can end up going to neilpatel.com/Ubersuggest or ubersuggest.com and put in any one of your competitor keywords or domains, not keywords. And there's a competitive analysis report. In there, there's options in the navigation for top pages or keywords, and you can see what your competitors are ranking for, or their top product pages or top blog pages. And it'll even show when you click the keywords option on the top pages, it'll break down each and every single keyword that one of those pages ranks for, so you can see what's working for your competition and what's not.
Awesome. This one's more for Brooke and I. So what has been our greatest work challenge recently, and how did we resolve it?
I would say from a paid media perspective, it's trying to get creative in a fast enough time to get things turned around. A lot of times we're ready to start a campaign, but we actually need to make sure our creative is following best practices and going to perform well for our e-commerce clients, making sure that we incorporate product descriptions, incorporate the product feeds in that, so we can leverage the opportunities that e-commerce has. So we've been working with our teams to make sure that those product descriptions are up to date, the feed is working properly, and everything is approved through the platforms.
Yeah, I love that you bring up the feed, because that does tie in nicely to our challenge at the NPXL level. So we recently launched some products based on Google's recent update back in October of 2020, where they changed the Google Shopping section of their platform to not only be a pay-to-play model. They reincorporated an organic aspect of Google Shopping. And so we launched a product around that, and that is heavily based on Google Merchant Center and product feed optimization. And specifically with Shopify, we do work with a lot of Shopify websites. In the beginning, we had a very clean way of using plugins to bring in the product feeds, and over time, Shopify and other applications changed the way that they do their work there, and it threw a wrench in our system. So we had to basically go back to the drawing board and reconfigure how we are bringing those product feeds into Google Merchant Center, so that organically we can show listings on the Google Shopping side of things. So that was quite a challenge, but we're definitely happy that we were able to solve that. One of the last questions here, Neil, is in regards to how to get in touch with the agency. So somebody asked, what do I do if I want the Neil Patel team to take care of my e-commerce brand? Where do I submit a request?
Just go to npdigital.com. And I'll ask one last question that I'm seeing. Brooke, what do you actually see as the biggest challenge that e-commerce brands have when they're running paid ads?
Yeah, I think it really is leaning into machine learning. The algorithms and predictive targeting that you talked about earlier will really improve your performance. So if you're trying to manually run your campaigns with manual cost per clicks, or not leaning into smart bidding strategies, that would be my number one recommendation, is to lean into machine learning. It is going to get you better results and improve performance.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this webinar. And again, if you want to work with us, check out NP Digital, or just take the phone, scan the QR code, and it'll take you to the site. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy day to listen to us. From Brooke, Matt, and I, we really do appreciate you guys, again, taking the time. And if we can ever just help, even if you just want free advice, you can always hit us up anytime, and we are here to help you guys out. Take care.
Absolutely. Have a good one, guys.